in really good shape.
Yeah, we're live now. Give me a second.
Like, she's in really good shape.
The cat's caused an avalanche.
Come on in.
This is a problem.
Just let me.
I cannot bend that well. You little buggers.
Oh, be quiet.
Oh,
I bet James doesn't bite your toes.
That's an issue.
He does not bite.
You little stinkers.
Boy, he sure nags a lot.
Cannot bend.
Yeah, no, that's I'm working. He's mad.
I'd say a few choice words, but that wouldn't be nice. Okay.
That's my 3. It was?
Okay.
Yeah, I
think. I'm good.
Do one more. Okay.
I think. Ow. Ooh.
I think that was 2.
Oh, you can hear Steph.
Do one more.
And Teresa. Hang on. I gotta fix the YouTube. Oh my goodness. Give the notice a chance to go out. I have to turn the volume off on the laptop. Yeah. It's that time of year to be such a busy year. To be this time of year because it's April. April and October, I have the same chaos because I'm head of advancement for all these Boy Scouts in the troop. And yeah, it's a lot of paperwork and emails. And so, yeah, it's a lot. So, have a lot of people on tonight for selling. My goodness. It used to just be me, and then it was me and Steph, and now it's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other resellers, though 2 of them are not in the same kind of market as vintage stuff. They're more for well, 3 if you count Farm Girl, Scavenger, Noel. They're more for selling things to resell. So let me get onto my own channel in the live so I can read the chat better because we all know my glasses. I'll give myself a thumbs up. We all know my glasses really are bad. I didn't realize how bad until my sister was here because she came down from Chester County to drive me to a doctor's appointment with the new primary care who has the bedside manner of a drill sergeant. But she said something about a car that was parked the second house down, right? And she said something about the license plate because it's one of those vanity plates. I couldn't read it. My glasses are so old and so out of whack to what my eyes need. I couldn't read it. And there was only it wasn't the little house next door to me. It was right at the driveway for the house opposite that. And one house away, basically. I couldn't read it. So that's, you guys laugh at me about needing to have the big laptop up to read the chat. That's why. It's so hard to read on the phone. So I see Nora's here. My fairy realm darling. Sherry's here. Hi, honey. And so I know we'll give it a second because I literally just grabbed my stuff because I have a new medication to take. I'm now on blood pressure medication. I can't even pronounce it. Amlodipine Besylate? Amlodipine. Okay, I think I don't know if that's right, but that's how it's spelled. So this new doctor freaked out because my blood pressure in the office on Tuesday morning was 160/90. And then that was when the tech took it. And then when she came in and took it on the arm from the stroke, and I keep telling them, you'll get a lower reading. You won't get an accurate reading if you use this arm. And she said, well, I always use that arm because it's closer to the heart. It makes it, more accurate. And I'm like, but I had a stroke. this arm never gives an accurate reading. It's always going to give lower than this side. This side gave a 148/90 reading. Yet this side said 160/90. So she completely wigged out. And I don't blame her. That's really high. So now I'm on. I got this stuff Tuesday, took the first one Tuesday night, took the next one last night. And you know what's a big surprise to me? I've slept through the night, both nights, for the first time in months. For months, I have not been able to sleep through the night. I wake up every 2 to 3, or if I'm lucky, every 4 hours. But usually it's like every 2 hours I'm awake. And so whatever it's doing, it's working. Because when I would lay down at night, I could hear the blood rushing in my ears, which I found out is really not good. I didn't know that was a sign that your blood pressure is about ready to pop that cork. So be forewarned, if you lay down at night and you can actually hear the blood rushing in your ears, go get your blood pressure checked by a doctor and talk to them, because that's really, really, really a dangerous sign. And I had no idea. I had no idea at all. So, hello, Suzanne D. How are you? I have to add something here because at the last second I added something that's actually in my eBay store. But I just grabbed it off the shelf and thought, you know, I'm going to add it here. Let me actually see. What do I have it for in my eBay store? Because that's not what I'm going to be selling it to you guys for. Oh, we're gonna cut that in half for you guys and see if anybody bites. What does that gotta be? I don't have my numbers. All my little number cards are in the dining room. I can't get in the dining room. That's why we're here at the chaos spot. Because the cats cause chaos in the dining room. All those, I had a whole pile of books behind me on the radiator out there. And then I had the, all those stitchery kits because I wanted to photograph them and put them up online. And I just didn't, there's so much paperwork because I have to go through every single scout's advancement, talk to, since they're all young, I have, usually if they're the higher ranks, they're working with me anyway, so I already know where they're at. Most of our troop now is the lower ranks, so they're working with their assigned assistant scoutmaster in charge of their patrol. So I don't have all that information. So I have to go into the computer system we have for every single kid and then email their scoutmaster to make sure it's all up to date, and then email the kid and his parents and say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. And it is very, very time consuming. So I have not been in the dining room to tidy up, but the kittens had knocked over, and they'd knocked over all those stitch kits and some of the books off the radiator. And I'm like, I just looked at it today and went, I don't have time for this. I just don't. Mike had off today, so of course he's been dragging me out to different places. No, I don't have any Jim Shore cats. You know, I have not found anything that was Jim Shore in my area the few times I've been in, because I haven't gone shopping to look for stuff in a long while because just because we have all those craft boxes and sewing boxes to go through. So today's stuff is an odd mix. This is why there was no preview video tonight. Just partly because I didn't have a chance to get through these. I do help out a friend's mother because my friend from when we were teenagers doesn't live in the area, neither does her brother. And so when their mother has a load of stuff that's ready, I go pick it up, and then I take what I can't resell and I take that to Goodwill for her, and then I can sell what I think I can sell. So I had, out of a carload of stuff, I had 3 boxes that were still in my son's trunk. So I spent today getting those sorted out. Well, tonight, getting those sorted out. And so so that's gonna be the fun tonight. And it's an odd eclectic mix. Everything from a giant vintage honeycomb, those honeycomb papers that fold out and make all the big things. I have a giant ball decoration of one of those. It's a vintage one, to a pair of wooden Dutch shoes, a brass vase. So just an unusual little mix, but we usually have fun. And you never know what I'm going to have simply because I've inherited all this stuff and because I still have that one lone person I still help with a clean out. I have something stuck in my eye. Ah, I hate that. And I actually have makeup on tonight. And so, I try to look nice and not completely paled out for you guys. Ah, any cats? No, tonight I don't have anything with a cat on it. I don't have any cats tonight. So, let's see. It's an odd mix of, there's a little bit of card packs that are ephemera, that are just general birthday greeting, thinking of you. Hello, Retro Ruby. There's a hand carved tiki mask, which was a surprise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 things tonight. And a kitten. Hello. What do you want? Your brother took your spot again. Which brother is that? Oh, okay. Come here then. Ugh. You don't know what to do because your brother took your spot. Oh, poor Elrond. Poor Elrond. He had a nice little spot down underneath on the bottom shelf of this desk, on this computer desk. But then the others, and he's been sleeping there for a month, if I'm working back here. And then his brothers found him. And Aragorn and Gimli are both bigger and heavier than Elrond. And Gimli's down there now. He's taken it over. And he's so big that it's a little pillow that's down there. He pushes Elrond right off of it. So, Warren, I still have your box sitting right over there. And I finally found the other thing I wanted to try to fit in there, plus a few little goodies that I'm just sending along because I think you'll like them. So yes, this is Elrond. Elrond is one of the kittens that I rescued, them and their mother, last year, as of April 1st, because that's the estimate of when they were born. As of April 1st, they are a year old. I still have all 5 kittens. That was never in the plan. Look at you. You're just going to curl your little head up. He's the one I wanted to keep. Can you blame me? He looks like a Siamese. There is a Siamese in the neighborhood that was in a house that got foreclosed on, and the people got out and their cat got locked in. So a neighbor on the street behind us basically broke open a porch window for the cat to be able to get out, but the cat was so freaked out and scared, the cat ran out. They have since, over the winter, managed to catch the cat, and the cat is now living in their house and quite happy, the Siamese cat, but they've since gotten him fixed. So this one may have been the child of the Siamese. And then there's 2 black ones, like their mother. Their mother was Morgan Le Fay. There's Gimli and Frodo. And then there's the twins, which are Aragorn and Arwen, and they are the most silky feeling fur. I know exactly which cat in the neighborhood is their dad, because Shadow is that exact same gray color and the same incredibly silky fur. Now, I haven't seen Shadow in a couple of months, I'm trying to get a rescue to come grab one that has shown up that's new, and I call him One-Eyed Jack. He's been in a fight. He's missing an eye. So far, it's managed to not be infected, which is a miracle. My vet tells me that that will change once we start getting warm and humid weather. Bacteria will build up in there. So I keep trying to feed him each day to get him used to me. He'll now come within 5 feet of me, which is progress. But I'm really trying to find a cat charity that will come and rescue him to get that eye socket cleaned and sewn shut properly and get him fixed. And who knows, maybe he'll turn out to be a cuddle bug and they'll be able to foster him. So that's an update on all the kitties. Look, he thinks he's going to go to sleep in my arms, and that's not happening. Can't do a sale like that. Oh, you had over 100 cat figurines. Oh my goodness, you had to leave them behind? Cat figurines and teapots? Oh. Oh. That must have been so hard to leave them behind. For me, it'd be the books. It'd break my heart to leave the books behind. Especially as there's so many of them I haven't read yet. Hello. Hello, Marcy. Oh, you keep trying to hide your little face, but that's not going to happen. You have to go down, sweetie. Oh, good boy. Go ahead. Here we go. I'll turn around so you get down. I know. You look at all the stuff you guys knocked down when you were playing earlier. Here we go. I'll sit you down. There you go. Good boy. Good boy. You don't know what to do. You're smelling the box that everything's in. Oh my goodness. My goodness. So, my little list here. Do I have anything of yours, Marcy? Marcy, do I still owe you stuff? See, I don't forget anybody. I have all this stuff, but some of the stuff was way behind on from when I got hurt. And we are finally like really kicking into a lot of that. Oh, I heard today, early today, I heard from Simi Free. No, Marcy, you have all your stuff. There's a reason we haven't seen her in a while. She's been in the hospital. And so any good thoughts you can think of to head towards her would be greatly appreciated. She's going to have a long road to recovery. I don't know what happened. She's been in the hospital since the end of February and now is in a nursing home rehab facility. And so she's got a long road of recovery. So if we can, what are you doing? Think good thoughts for Simi. And don't you bite that. What are you doing? Give me that. No biting the vintage patterns. No. No. Just no. I swear, they're like having toddlers. They deliberately do stuff for your attention. So, here, try to go lay on top of your brother. It'll serve him right. Where are you going? I hear him behind me. What are you doing, sir? What are you doing? You're already in trouble for tearing apart ostrich feathers, though I don't think that was you. You're the one that knocked my light box to take photos in way over there on the pile. Sir, what are you doing? You can't stay here. I'm telling you, it's just like having toddlers. They want your attention when they want it, and they don't care what you're doing. Honey, I'm going to need two hands for this. No, you have to go back down. Mom, go find Michael. Or did Michael shut his door? Go find Michael. You're going to have a big change soon with Michael because Michael has a new job that he starts on Monday. Yeah. Yeah, you won't have his bed to yourself all night because he won't be working third shift anymore. He got a job working for our local Boy Scout council. And so he will be, ow, hey, stop, no, down. He will be district commissioner in charge of fundraising for one particular corner that's about a 45-minute drive away. So yeah, but Mom, I'm comfortable. So we don't know yet. Like we know all next week his schedule will probably be first shift while they train him and everything. But a lot of scouting jobs like that for commissioners is at night because you've got to go to scout meetings for the troops. You might have to go to committee meetings, courts of honor, and those things are all usually in the evenings. So, but being that he's also in charge of fundraising, I'm sure there'll be plenty of stuff in the office he's got to do. Behave under there. You gotta behave, right? Good boy. I think he's gonna behave. We'll see. So, so that's the big update. So how many do we have here? We have 17. Hello and welcome. If you've not been here before, my email address is right in the corner there. No, dude, down, Elrond, go lay down. No, go lay down. No, go lay down. Lay down with Gimli. Go on, go lay down. Lay down. Toddlers, I'm telling you, they're furry toddlers. Good boy. He does this anytime I'm at the computer. He wants to lay next to me. He would sleep with me if I'd let him, but I only have a twin bed. There's no room for a cat and me in that bed. So that doesn't work. But anyway, all the same usual things apply, just like for any YouTube live sale. If you haven't gotten anything from me before, you need to send me your real name, your eBay name, your YouTube name if it's different, your address, and the email I should be using for PayPal. I invoice through PayPal, and I use that, and I use pirate ship for shipping, and I am about roughly 45 minutes below Philadelphia, so I'm all the way over on the. I couldn't be any further east unless I lived in New Jersey. So I am on the East Coast shipping out, but it helps having pirate ship because that does help keep the cost down to some extent, and so. I also have a ton of stuff, as you can see. This is what I call Warehouse 13 behind me. Some of you old sci-fi TV show people will get the joke. If not, look up Warehouse 13. I wish I had such cool stuff as they do in that TV show. But I inherited from 3 different people, including the house. And there's a lot of stuff here. Everything from stuff from, not too much, but we have come across things from the late 1890s into the early 1900s, all the way down to stuff certainly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. At some point, I know I'm going to start finding all the toys from the 1990s from the grandchildren of my mother's. So it's always an eclectic mix. I was for a while there trying to shop and bring vintage glass because that is one thing I didn't really inherit. I don't have too much of that right now simply because I am without a car right now, so I can't do the rounds of shopping. Though now my son would be available on the weekends more often over the summer, so there may be some flea markets that we finally get to go to. So, oh yeah, Eureka, Fringe. Nora, you are so right. I mean, I absolutely loved um, Eureka. Fringe was another good one. Sanctuary. I just finished. I had to get it on disc because Amazon Prime, I think, only has a few. Prime or Hulu only had a few seasons of Sanctuary, but they didn't have all of them. And then I was watching season 4 and got down to what would be the last couple of shows, and suddenly it said unavailable. So I had to get the last 2 discs of Sanctuary from Netflix, and they should be showing up any day now. So, hello, Mary Beth. Oh, I like the. Is that a peacock? Oh, I like the peacock. That's cool. I'm. If you can't tell from the TARDIS behind me, the Doctor Who TARDIS, I have always been a bit of a science geek and science fiction geek. Never been a big fan of romance um, or slasher horror. I don't tend to like most of the modern horror movies. I grew up watching Vincent Price, Peter Cushing, Boris Karloff, Peter Lorre. You know, I tend to like those old school horror. Especially if it was black and white and had a creature in it, I wanted to see it. Partly because I wanted to try to like figure out how they did the special effects and stuff like that. The running joke with my son and I is that he might want to go see a movie and it's kind of like a romantic comedy, but then my standard question is if he says, "Hey, why don't I take you to go see this movie?" and I usually go, "Do things explode?" We are polar opposites about movies. He's the more likes the gushy movies, and I just want to know, do things explode? Is it science fiction and do things go boom? So definitely polar opposites. Oh, no, that and a few other things. So I do have a few offer ups tonight. Anything that if you feel it should be an offer up, you can put offer in the chat, but make sure it's in capitals so I catch it. And but anything we can make offer up. I have, I think, 16 items, and 3 things are specifically going to be an offer up. Simply because I'm just not they're just very unique, so I'm not quite sure how well they'll do if they'll do. We'll see. I do have an eBay store, I have an Etsy store, I have super chat, super stickers, I have a buy me a coffee. Anything that's the super chat or super stickers or the buy me a coffee all goes to help feed these cats that I fostered. Still trying to find homes for Arwen and Frodo because 6 cats in the house is just too many. Um, so Arwen and Frodo really they're the most independent of the 2, and they haven't really super bonded to any one of us. So it'd be easier for them to rehome. We've had 8 adoptions fall through, but it does go to any of those little things go to help take care of the kittens and feed them. And it was thanks to all of those that helped pay when I went through a rescue group and got them all fixed and got their shots, because I still ended up having to pay a certain amount, but it definitely was less than a regular vet. And I'm so grateful to this community for helping with that. So let's get started with the giant honeycomb ball. So I know, like, if you have Halloween or Christmas of this honeycomb stuff, it's that tissue paper stuff that unfolds. This thing, look at the size of this. It's huge. This is huge. And the box it was in, everything in that box was from the late 60s and early 70s. So this is one big, massive honeycomb ball. Where is my tape measure? I want to see if I can get a size on this even close to a size on this sucker. All right, maybe if I close it first. So this thing is 19 inches from end to end. It's a big guy. It does have its thing, its little string to hang it. I could not find a maker's mark anywhere, but it is huge. Now I found somewhere, if I can find it again, I can't see it. There's a spot somewhere. There it is. So how am I going to show this to you? So there's a little spot here where right against here has a little tear, but there's this one right here. This is the only damage I found to it, is that one little spot, which is amazing because all this is just tissue paper. It is just thin tissue paper with all these great colors. So, oh, and it's in pencil. There's a pencil that has $1, which honestly, these don't sell for that now, if you can even find one this big. But I don't think it's is it Bissell who made a lot of these kind of things for the holiday ones? But I did look up their prices. So this one is, and it does have its little tin, it's got its little tin clips that you would use when you open it all the way. You would use those to pinch the cardboard pieces together to hold it open. So, and they're all made out of tin. Oh, wait a minute. There is, now that I got the bright light on, there is something, but I can't read it. There's a little embossed mark right there. Made, and that's all I can tell. I think that says made. I cannot tell who made that. Darn. So it does have some kind of embossed mark, but it's just, whatever it was, it's a circle, but it's just not embossed enough to be able to read it. So this is $7. $7 letter C for the honeycomb. It's $7 letter C for the giant honeycomb ball. So I was surprised. I have to admit, I was surprised when I found that, because I've not seen anyone. I've seen the small ones, like you can get for decoration. You can get ones that are like, about that big, not quite as big as my head. And I've seen them in like the party stores and stuff, but I've never seen one that big. That thing's huge. Huge, 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 huge. I have also a couple of other things. And it's funny, the lady is such a sweetheart, but it's so funny because her mother used to teach. Now she's in her 70s now, and her mother used to teach kindergarten out in the Midwest, and then she used to teach preschool and kindergarten here. And then when she had kids, she opened up a bed and breakfast and did that. But she never tossed anything. So hello, Maria. So it's been interesting, some of the stuff you find, and different sections of rooms. She said, as things got filled, because she won't let me into the house, but as things got filled and different bookcases got filled, she would just start at another spot in the house. So every little area that she cleans out is like a time capsule. And it's so funny because she says, oh, I cleaned off this whole shelf, and she gave me a bunch of stuff, and every single thing on it was stuff from the 1950s. Everything she gave me, old cards, old stationery, coloring books, everything on that shelf had been from the 1950s. So it's like every time she cleans another little area, it's like a little time capsule, which is kind of fun, actually. But this was another thing that she gave me. It's Designs to Color, book 3. Now, I did look up this Betty Schaffner, but I didn't really find anything. It's copyright 1967. And so you've got what could be, you had a lot of that kind of loops and psychedelic kind of look from the artistic side of things. A lot of illustration art was done like that, kind of like this one, because it almost looks like a tulip flower in a way, a very stylized one. I found 2 pages in the back. Okay, there's one where the candles, the yellow was done. And where is the other one? There's another one. I like the fish. Fish is kind of cool. Here's another one that's flowers. Very, very stylized. They really do just remind me of like very stylized 1960s stuff. There's the surfboards, the guitars. What the heck? Okay, I didn't see this the first time I looked. Astronauts. They have astronauts. So I know there's a second page. I saw a second page where, there it is. I passed it. The flower. So there's 2 pages where there's a tiny little bit done, but the rest are all clean. You could photocopy them and use them for the kids, or have your own fun doing your own little artwork with these. Very definitely very 60s inspired kind of artwork for these. And this is, where did I put it? There it is. It is Designs to Color, is just $3, letter O. $3, letter O. And, oh, Warren wants that one. Okay. And if you need crowns to color with, these are actually in my eBay store, but I'm gonna, just thought on a whim, I have this unopened movie tie-in. They've never been used. I've never opened them. It's a movie tie-in pack of crowns for the movie Trolls. And so there's 24 crowns, and they each have the papers on them. If I can get it to line up a little bit here. If you could see the papers on them, all have different trolls on the papers. So, and it's got, I don't really want to open that top, but they're in great shape. I've never used them. So I have this troll crowns, which are a movie tie-in. And I know what I had them on in my eBay store, but I thought, just on a whim, I just grabbed them like literally 2 minutes before I went live. So the troll crowns are $4. $4, letter Y. $4, letter Y for the mint in package troll crowns. I'm going to sit that up there because that's sold. And we're going to sit them there. Oh, Warren wants those too. And Warren, they're small enough, I'll be able to put them in the box over there. I have to watch the clock because when it hits midnight, I have to take that new medication. I gotta get used to this. It's got to be the same time every night. So I didn't take it at 11, so I have to take it at least by 12. Because you're supposed to take blood pressure medication at roughly the same time every night. I'm new to this. I only had it had been taking it for 2 days so far. Now let's see. Let's do. Come here. Let's do one of the packs of 30 cards. Now, these are, some of you who've been here for a while with me know that she never threw out any note cards. This particular pack, not particularly vintage, so there's not so much any from the 60s or the 50s in these particular packs, but they're all just either birthday or thinking of you. This one's a postcard. But if you, I thought the bear was kind of cool. That's also a postcard. Most of them they have writing on the inside, but you're getting all these. There's 30 cards in here, and you're getting all of these. He looks suspiciously Christmas. But you're getting all of these cards to use as an ephemera pack for whatever you want to do with them. I cracked up over that one because it has a McDonald's thing. And that one's all little cherubs. I do like this one. That's pretty cool looking note card. So you get 30 cards. I didn't really look for a date. One of the postcards has a date of 2010 on the back. One of the other notes inside was dated from the 1990s. But there are 30 cards, and there are 30 miscellaneous cards. So they're basically as an ephemera lot. It is $6. And for this batch, it is letter A. $6, letter A, for this batch. I actually need to put that on there. Let's do a cookbook. Oh, Marcy. Okay. Marcy Ellsworth. Thank you. Now I have two different ones tonight. I have some vintage cookbooks. This one is recipes compiled by the ladies of Ruth Circle Methodist Church in Montezuma, Iowa. I never knew there was a Montezuma, Iowa. That's a heck of a name. Now, one thing I don't have, I'm not seeing a date in this one, but judging how it's inside, I would say this is probably from the 70s. Might be a little early, but I think the 70s. There's one called Bride's Delight. Somebody wrote try in pencil next to some of these. Who's popped in on us? Oh, Denise, hello. And Linny's Moose Got Loose. I just love that name. I think it's the funniest thing. Because when you see these, they are all, the way it's done, it was all copied over from somebody hand typed all the pages. And if you've ever seen that kind of stuff, you know when you look at it that it was a typewriter, and they copied directly from that. And whatever typewriter it was that they used, it's L's and it's K's didn't hit that hard, because throughout the book, the top of the letter L and the letter R on a couple of pages, it's a little bit lighter than it should be. but there are some pencil marks in it. I found one lone recipe, and it's all very light pencil, where they adjusted something, and now of course I can't find it again. They adjusted the recipe and they added a little more, like they added a little more chopped tomato and a little of something else. Strawberry crown pie. It says here's one where they added something. It's supposed to have 1 quart berries, and in parentheses in pencil they wrote 3 cups. And then they also added 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. So when you get these kind of old cookbooks, you have to remember one key thing about the abbreviations. If it is a lowercase t, that is a teaspoon. If it is a capital T, that is a tablespoon. I just tonight explained this to my son because we were watching some young man who he has a cookbook coming out of his own now too. And I can't draw on a blank on the name, but he's on TikTok and he's on YouTube, and he gets these vintage cookbooks and he makes the stuff in them and tries them out. And the video we watched tonight was for him to make something called food of the gods, and it's under the pudding section in this 1909 cookbook. The 1909 version was but then he did a version that's from, I don't know if his name is Max or not. I don't actually know what his name is because I've never seen a video of his before. I've seen a couple of TikTok things and they're so fast and short. I think his name is Max, but in July he's got a cookbook coming out that you could pre-order already. Assuming that was a recent video and it's not already out. But then he went to the internet, because each time he found a recipe, he didn't find the recipe for it again until one of his collection of a 1961 cookbook. And that was kind of different, and it didn't come out well either. But then somebody from Singapore reached out to him and said, "Oh no, we make this all the time here, and that recipe is more like a cake." And he loved that recipe so much, he got permission to put it in the cookbook. And it's something called Food of the Gods, which I've never heard of, but it really shows how some things can change from like an early 1900s recipe. People tweak it. So you might find a recipe book from 50 years later and it might have something of the same name. And some of the recipe will be the same, but there's little tweaks in it. And finding things like this with the strawberry crown pie, where somebody added 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, that's exactly the kind of thing where it does change, a little bit over time. Now the only damage to this is there's a little bit something stuck and pulled the paper a little bit on the back, and on the plastic, this hard plastic spine, it's cracked right here. So, but other than that, the inside is really pretty clean. There's 111 pages. And other than the pencil marks, I've not found the usual stains, because almost always, like if it's been well used, there's usually, stains from something spilling on it. All the pages are clean except for those pencil comments. So this one is the Ruth Circle Cookbook. It's $6 letter K for this one. I've been trying to convince my son that we should just take one of the old cookbooks we have and just work our way through them. But until we get the oven repaired, that's not going to happen. I so miss baking. Patsy M. Patsy, do I have your information? I think I do. But it's been a while, I think. I have somebody, I have to email them because they never emailed me and I had to track them down. So I have to email them and see if they still want the stuff. I'm still having problems with losing my voice when I talk. And by the end of the scout meeting last night, I came out of there and my voice was like a rasp had gone across my vocal cords. So, okay, the other one I have, let's do the other one, is a Vermont cookbook by Vermont cooks, published by the Green Mountain Studios, White River Junction, Vermont. This one, this is the 11th edition from 1966. First edition was May of 1946. And then after that says 11th edition, there's a copyright here from 1958. So this is at least from 1958. I did like that they did this. They have this map that's part of Vermont, and it has broken it up in sections, but the sections are not the counties in Vermont. They have things like state capital, hunting, sawmills, quarries, fishing and canoeing, maple sugar camps, grist mills, woolen mills. And so they're all broken up for what's known in that area, which I thought was kind of different. And this one has I like this one because one of the things I saw is it has recipes for donuts. Check this out. Do you see this? Look at them all. I have old cookbooks, and you're lucky if they have 3 variants of a donut. Oh, is it getting near me? Oh, it is getting near midnight. Okay. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not, this is a new one to the regimen of, oh, and I actually got told if you're on blood pressure medication, you cannot take vitamin D because it can react badly. So now I'm off the vitamin D, even though it's still low, and told to get outside more often. But yeah. How do people that are old, I remember my grandparents having a lazy Susan on the kitchen table because between the two of them they had that many drugs. How the hell do people keep this stuff on schedule? Because you can't take this that close to that, and you get to, I don't want a lazy Susan on the middle of my table full of drug bottles. but keeping them scheduled, they have to be this time, and it's driving me nuts. So they have grandma's donuts, molasses donuts, maple syrup, raised 1 and 2, sour cream, sour milk 1 and 2, and sweet milk. So I've heard of sour cream donuts. I've heard of sour milk donuts. I've not heard of any of these others. I've heard of cinnamon donuts too, where it's a basic donut batter and you put cinnamon in the batter. So I am trying to get caught up. I have the list right here. And I actually, we found a big box that was stuff from right after I got hurt in April of, and I cringe to say this, but from April of 2021, when I fell and hurt myself, and my son just packed everything in a giant box, well, in 2 boxes, and put it away because I had to walk with a walker for so many months, basically most of the rest of that year. And here he put it underneath a bunch of boxes that were shipping supplies. So I have stuff that's that old. I cringe to say it, but I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's just, that was 2021 was a really rough year around here. So, Jeanette, I am on amlodipine mesylate. It's a blood pressure medication because apparently that cork was about to pop. My blood pressure on Tuesday morning was 160/90. That's not good. When I had the stroke, my blood pressure was 190/90 or 96. So I know to be 160/90, that's not good. And it's been kind of high, but not that high since January. So yeah, I don't want another stroke. I dodged a bullet with the one I did have, and the one I did have, we are 99% sure it was because of the medication I was on at the time, and I was only 50 then. The inside of this mouth, there's still a spot about that big that just has no feeling. And it took me months to get an even smile. So yeah, no. I'll take this. I'll take this crap. So yes, I'm still looking. You're the Horner tin, right? That's the tin. I haven't found that tin. I don't know what I did with. I know it's still here because first off, it's cute and it has a cat on it. So I know I still have it, but I've not found the tin. I think I found the other thing you wanted though. But yeah, I mean, I was so surprised. Now, of course, being Vermont, there's a lot of maple stuff. But there's breads, biscuits, 4 different things for beans, brown bread, huge thing of cakes, conserve, green tomato marmalade. Okay. Okay. Sugar on snow. If you know, you know. I grew up with old relatives. I know what that is. So it's got a lot of cool stuff. It's got fried puffballs cracked me up because I'm still not sure. Like the whole first section is unusual recipes, and like the puffballs, um, they're talking about puffball mushrooms, and now these are the giant ones, but I'm like, are these can't be the same puffballs that I get here because they're not big enough. Really? Yeah. Well, this doctor I was at, she's the brand new primary care, and let me tell you, she has the bedside manner of a drill sergeant, and she doesn't listen. And she like right away told me that I should get rid of the inhaler and just get rid of the cats and tell your brother to smoke outside. And as she's walking out of the room, I went, it doesn't matter if he does or not. His clothes still reek of the stuff because I said, I still have this and I'm still occasionally using it, which she somehow in her brain took as you shouldn't be using that every day. You don't have bronchitis anymore. And I'm like, I'm having asthma attacks over certain things. And there's mold in my house. And she didn't want to hear it. So I don't see her staying my primary for very long. I really don't. But she's definitely right about this. Nobody should have blood pressure 160 over 90. I did look up there is a risk factor with this and vitamin D. Because the one area I found it was the NHS, the National Health Service, the British Health Service has a report on it, but the levels of it all depends on like the level of D you're taking, and if you're doing that and then being out in the sunlight a lot. So apparently there's variables. So I figured I would wait just because I wanted to make sure I wasn't having any reactions to this. So so under the unusual recipes, they have puffball soup, fried puffballs, something called raspberry shrub, scalloped onions. I've never heard of that. Hard soup. What the hell? You can't eat that. What is this? You cannot eat this. Okay, it has borax and ammonia in it. You can't eat this. What is this? This cannot be food. Clarify hard soup, okay? Clarify your grease or fat and allow to become particularly cold. And then it tells you how to clarify the grease, heat fairly hot, add 2 or 3 potatoes, cut in 1/8 pieces, allow them to accumulate impurities, remove potatoes, strain through a cheesecloth, To 5 pounds of grease, add 3 pints of water, 1 can of potash, a third of a cup of borax, a third of a cup of ammonia, a half a cup of sugar. Hey, Philly Flipper, how are you? The sugar is added for the lather. Stir this mixture until thick and pour into a cardboard box. Cut when cold. That cannot possibly be for something you eat because that's not good for you. It doesn't say what to do with it. Doesn't say what it is. I mean, hard soap, it's a soap. I get it, but duh, it's a soap. Idiot. I thought it said soup. I'm telling you, these glasses are crap. Did I sell my crap yet? No, Paul, I have not sold all the stuff. So, guys, Philly Flipper is the one who, bless his heart, had all those boxes of stuff that was craft stuff and new old stock toys and all those boxes that are now in the playroom and in my dining room that we've been going through. They were all in his warehouse. And bless his heart, that was only supposed to be for a few months. And then I got hurt. And he said, no problem. He had it in there. And then he moved. And he moved to Florida. And I wonder how, I haven't seen a video lately. So I don't know how you're doing down there as far as your yard sales, if you're finding them. But yeah, Philly Flipper has a great channel now. He sells a lot of his stuff on eBay, Facebook Marketplace. You're doing Whatnot now too, aren't you? Have you started on Whatnot yet? So, but Paul does a little bit of everything. They're fantastic down there. Good. There's nothing worse than being in an area where they're not so great. So, well, I hope you're having fun in Florida. It's a nice place. Wait till summer though, when it rains. If certain parts of Florida, I swear, it rains for 20 minutes about 2:30, 3 o'clock every single afternoon. So, but when I got the boxes back from Paul, we moved 112 boxes back into my house. And we're still working on going through it. That's why there's going to have to be another craft sale of stuff as I get through more in the dining room. So let's see, what does this book have? There's 48 pages. Pickles, relishes, meat, poultry, baked beans, of course, puddings, pies, salad dressings, cakes. There's always cakes. What is this one? Oh, so there's maple syrup recipes, but there's also maple sugar recipes. And there's really cool, there's these great little black and white artwork periodically throughout this thing. Some of them are tiny, like this is a little fireplace, but oh, it's midnight. Time to do the messing. Okay, so the only thing wrong with it is that it looks like it got a little chewed, but it's only on like the first 4 pages. So this one is $4 and it's letter R. $4 letter R. Yeah, Paul, what area of Florida are you in? Because I've forgotten. Brain like a steel sieve. Though that's gotten a lot better now that I'm taking this stuff. I sleep through the night now. I'm so sorry to eat in front of you, but I do need to eat something because this stuff does upset my stomach if I don't. Been 84 every day. We hit that today up here. It was 84 degrees today. It's like, what happened to spring? It's supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow and then drop back down to the 70s and then into the 60s again. Oh, Sarasota. Not where all the old people go? Trying to we were in Sarasota briefly in 1984. Hi, Bonnie. Yeah, 42 is not old. I remember hitting age 42. It was a fun year. I'll do a lot of fun stuff in my 40s. Oh, yeah, Venice. Yeah. We went to Sarasota to meet my. Okay, so how do I explain Hazel? I don't remember Hazel's last name, and I wish I did because the Krause family Bible got given to her because apparently my grandfather had been married before and had a little girl named Hazel, and nobody knew. And till there was a letter to my aunt, to my dad's sister. So when we went down to Florida, we went to Sarasota to meet Hazel. We had my parents and my sister and her husband and me, because it was supposed to be my graduation present to take me to Florida. And they took me to Disney World. We went and saw a lot, but we went to Sarasota, I'm pretty sure it was, to meet Hazel and her husband. And then out my aunt whips the Krause family Bible, which none of us knew existed, with all the family tree information, and gave it to Hazel. And that, we were like, we're the ones with the family name, and you never even told us you had this. So we're not happy over that. But Hazel and her husband have since passed away, so we no idea where we would have liked to have didn't mind if they gave it to her, but I minded that we didn't even know about it, and she knew my one brother and I were doing family tree stuff and never gave us the info out of it, which is like no fun, Why do people have to be jerks? This says you didn't like that my dad didn't marry his friggin' cousin from upstate and married mom instead, and you didn't like her. Too bad. You'd think after that many years of them being married and with 6 kids, you could get over it. It's funny what stupid things people hang on to for decades. I think it's just such a waste of energy. Okay, so I had my little biscuit with orange marmalade. Uh-oh. Hold on, another toddler. What are you doing? You've already broken the frame on that, you little bugger. They're wooden shoes. Get your head out of it. Come here. Come here. Come on, little golden eyes. What? Oh, no, you can't have the biscuit. I don't think orange marmalade would be approved of for kitty cats. This is our problem, child. This is Aragorn. Go play with your brother. Go on. Go find Elrond and go play with your brother. Oh, you're going to think about it. So that was Aragorn, who is a special kind of kitty. Because if there can be somebody who's knocked something over, climbed something he shouldn't, in your way and decides to just stop, especially on a staircase, it's going to be him. It's always going to be him. For some reason. Okay, so let me double check. I don't think there was anyone for letter R, which was the Vermont cookbook for $4. So we'll put that one over here. Now let's see. We have, and I'm surprised this is still in the original packaging. Judging by these graphics, I think this is probably, I think 1960s, maybe late 50s. But it's still sealed. It is a plastic interlined table cover, and it cracks me up. It says facial quality. What does that mean? The Tuttle Press Company from Appleton, Wisconsin. I like how it says the price and then it says plus tax, if any. Right there, plus tax, if any. But the pattern, let's see if I can get this to where you can see it through the plastic. There we go. It's not the Greek keys, they're little squares that go all the way around, and then this is all ribbed all across here. So it's 54 inches by 101. It's a vintage kind of a mustard yellow, you know, like hot dog mustard kind of yellow tablecloth. But it's in the original packaging with that great graphic on the front. And this was $5, letter T. $5, letter T for the vintage tablecloth. What's funny is I look at it and it like has that look and texture like the old paper ones, but it says it's plastic interlined, whatever that means. Oh, duh. That's what that means. That's why it looks like paper. Both sides are usable facial quality paper. Plastic is in the middle. I'm an idiot. I didn't notice that. That's why it looks like a paper tablecloth, because it's got paper on either side. So the $5, letter T. What is? We did that one already. That. Okay, let's do the other yellow thing. This was in the box too. And a lot, like I said, a lot of the stuff was from the 60s. But I have a fishnet in the original package, but it's a yellow one. And I couldn't find a maker or a date of any kind on the label. The label's the same on either side. It says it's 72 inches by 84 inches, and it's all folded up neatly in there. So for the yellow fishnet, which are, I mean, they're fun to have for summer decor, especially if you want to have it out on the patio. I have friends that years ago, they had done the bathroom all in beach kind of stuff, and they had a fishnet hanging from the ceiling with shells placed up in the fishnet, which looked really cool in the bathroom. So it's $5, letter N. $5, letter N for the new old stock fishnet package. Yellow fishnet. Yeah, fishnets were used with tiki bars. I used to, when I was a teenager, I had a fishnet up on the ceiling of the room, that the Black Hole Challenge room. And I had pirate stuff up there. I had some stuffed animals up there because I like unicorns, so a lot of people gave me stuffed unicorns. So I had some of them up there. I had a couple of seashells, but never anything really tiki. I wasn't into that, but I was more into pirate stuff. So I have a vintage pack of children's birthday cards from Current Incorporated. Now, I did not find, and it is open, but there's 8 cards in there and their envelopes. I did not find a date anywhere on these. Now, I would say these are more for ephemera, because you see what happened with the envelopes? the glue on these envelopes, this is the piece that still holds them all together, but the glue has all turned, and it's that way on all these envelopes. Hi, Steph. And there is, like, you could see it on the back of this one. You see the little brownish spots, but that's such a great image on the front. There's a little bit of foxing to the paper on some of these. Now, most of them, the covers are good, but when you open them, like, you can see all the little foxing marks, which is a term when you get, they get damp gets to them, to paper, and it reacts with the acid in the paper, and it starts making little mildew marks. Now, this one, you can see it right over the horse's saddle. It's so cool. These graphics are great. And you can see it, you can really see it inside there. So, but these would be good for, you know, junk journaling, to use the images. I don't know that you'd be able, like this one, the cover is great, but inside, you know, there's some dots that go over the bug, so I don't know that you'd be able to cut that out and use it. But so these are, this is basically an ephemera pack for crafting, and you get all 8 of them, the original box. Where'd they go on my list? So the children's birthday cards with the foxing, that's $3 for the pack. $3, letter S. Hi, Val. $3, letter S for the pack of the cards. I was just thinking about you today, Val, because I finally found a package big enough to put that still life painting book, and Marcy would like those that you got from a previous sale. Because boy, that thing was big. I had to hike up to the 3rd floor and get a couple of these giant packages, envelopes, so that I could, because I had one down here that the cat put a hole in, and I had to go get 2 more out of the stash up on the 3rd floor. Oh, Marcy, you want the Vermont? Okay, wait a minute. You want the Vermont cookbook as well? Okay, thank you, Marcy. All right, now, let's do one of the offer ups. Let's do the shoes, because these are pretty cool. So I have a pair of Dutch shoes. Now, when I do these, I'll show them to you. I want to get it typed in first. Whoops, capital letters. Where's my notes? So I looked these up, and so this is the start. They're going to start at $10. Now, I did not find an artist name hiding in the design, but their bottoms are this beautiful, really kind of a cherry red. And they've got this little loop design. Now, this little design around here looks like it was, what's the word? Pyrography. It looks like it was burned into the wood before they put this glaze over it. But then these are, I have to hold them together because they're actually attached. There's this really old twisted cotton string that's holding them together. And they say number 17, but what surprised me is that these are not So down inside, you can kind of see it there. They're not glazed all the way down in, which I've never seen that before. Usually they dip them in glaze and do everything. And I don't know why they have a 17 in there, unless these were meant to be, you know, actually sized to your feet. But they've got fantastic windmill on there, and they are really, there's no scratches or scrapes. They're in great shape. And I honestly, I don't know how old they are. But because they have this does seem to be older, because everything I could find online, they don't do this. The pyrography bit, they don't do that anymore, and haven't for at least the last 40 years, where they did any kind of wood burning. And you can see the marks, because I do wood carving for Boy Scouts. When you look inside these, you can see the marks. These were hand chiseled. These were hand carved down in there. There's no way I can get the light down in there, I don't think, for you to be able to see. But you can see all the chisel marks inside. So these were definitely chiseled out by hand and not by machine. Because the machine ones now, it's always really, really smooth inside. And if you find the ones that were hand done, that it's all rough. There you go. You can kind of see the chisel marks from the wood chisel in there. So these definitely are older, but it's a great pair. I always thought these were kind of a spring kind of thing, because I see these kind of shoes and all I think of is tulips. I know I was at Holland, Michigan as a kid, and there was a lot of this kind of stuff around there. No, Val, I didn't, because I was looking for something from a previous sale to include with it. That was a crochet book on pillow covers, and I just pulled that out this morning. No, not this morning, yesterday, right before Scouts, because I wanted to send that with it. So, okay, I see Val in for 10. I don't know where they are, because somehow they got separated. I have little sterling silver screwback earrings that have white enamel with little blue designs that are tiny little pairs of Dutch shoes. I have those earrings from my great aunts. So they are about 8¼ inches long. So that's how long they are. But they're definitely, I really like the fact that they had those chisel marks, because that was pretty cool. And the pyrography marks. They also have this little decorative, now this is not pyrography, this is painted on. And then they have this really nice shellac glaze over the top. And I think this is showing up as gray from what I see on my laptop. This is a really light, more like a bluish. There's more blue to it than gray, and so it marks out the clouds, which I don't think it's showing. I think it's showing up as gray, and they're showing up more a dusky yellow on my laptop than they really are. So if no one else is in, I'm going to start calling it. We're going to have going once. Put them up there. Don't fall over. Going twice. There it is. Wow, the lag. The lag tonight is real. So, and then I'm going to put the sold, and I'm not going to look at the screen. So we try to keep this fair and see whenever it shows up. 2, 3, 4. Well, that showed up pretty quick. The going twice took a second. Okay. Wow, StreamYard's chat is behind YouTube's chat. The soul just now showed up. That's why I prefer to have some other thing show in the chat instead of when I'm doing it through StreamYard, because the chat sometimes lags so much in the StreamYard, and it's just lags way more than the YouTube one does. Well, thank you very much, Val. So that's 10. Now, there is another. Oh, come here, you. Oh, you're making this box. You're making this box way too heavy. Come here, you. So I have a vintage Avon thing, and it's full. It is still full of lotion, and I checked it. It does come out. It is still liquid. It does still work. This is, we have a date? We don't have a date. So this is the box. Box is pretty cute. Box is nice and decorative on 3 sides, and then it's got information on the back. It is a country jug, and it is a country jug full of moisturized hand lotion. It's never been used. So there's the little pump part. Okay, so that's still in there, and that's all clean. And then this is the jug. It's still full of lotion. It still smells good too. It's just no date. I could not find a date, not even on the tag. No date anywhere, but it's still liquid inside. It still smells good. It's still usable. So you have this Avon Country Jug moisturizing lotion in the original box. Know anybody that's got a birthday coming up, you can buy them as a present. So it is $8, letter G. $8, letter G, for the country jug full of lotion. I was so surprised because I picked this up and I'm like, why is this so heavy? Well, because it's still got all the lotion in it. It is brand new old stock. But I think the only thing is there's a little ding there, little discoloring there, and that's it. The box is in great shape too. So $8, letter G. You stay. I lost my pen. There we go. Now we have, don't have much left. We could do another offer up. And boy, this thing was so dusty when I found it. Wait till you see it now. It is really nice and shiny. And the prices for these are all over the place. If they have an artist name, then it goes way higher. This is hand carved wood. It is 11.5 inches long and 5.5 inches wide, and it is a tiki mask. And look at the shine on this thing. That was not shiny when I got it. It was covered in dust. And boy, when I cleaned it up, it just, the only thing is there's a little spot right there that had a drop of white paint. Now, I did get that off, but it messed up the shine right there. But that's the only flaw. And there's no, you can see all the carving marks too, where they hollowed this out. So there's no maker's mark, there's no origin country labeled, nothing. But it is fabulous. Now the eyes do go through. So you can, if I can get it to shine right, maybe. There you go. You can see through the eyes. The eyes have little slits in them, which could be really fun if you put a little battery pack behind them. Creep people out at Halloween. But I don't know what kind of wood he's made out of, but I kind of think he might be the outer shell of a coconut, because there's these great striation lines this way, but there's also these lines in the wood this way. But he is really cool looking. Ready for your tiki bar. You have this and you take the yellow fishnet, man. You could start your own little tiki bar. So I don't see anyone interested in the tiki mask. So we'll sit him over here. And we'll pass on him. That's okay. Now I do have this lovely brass vase. Says made in India on this little tiny tag. And it has a really nice rim around the top. Sometimes the more modern ones are made in a way where they this is a cut edge and they don't smooth it off and it can feel really sharp. Now this back part, I have to take a little steel wool to this. There's a little mark here where you can see it's a little darker. And it's just because that's got just a little bit of verdigris, whatever the green stuff is that gets on copper and brass sometimes, because something other than water or maybe a little water that stayed damp got to that, but that should clean up with a hot fine grade steel wool. So I'm going to be taking care of that. But the nice part is that this pattern goes all the way around. So you can have that little piece in the back and not see it. And Steph, you want the yellow? Now the fishnet's yellow, Steph. Just so you're sure, you do want the fishnet, Steph. It's yellow. Is that okay? Okay. Oh, that's why you want it? Yeah, I like yellow stuff too. Okay, so the fishnet goes to Steph. All right. So the brass vase, I was about to measure it. The brass vase is 8 inches tall. Oh, it would make a cool backdrop for you. So the 8-inch tall brass vase is $10. It is solid brass. It's not a just a brass overlay. It is solid all the way through. Really nice line pattern. I like the little drippy parts here and all these cool swags and leaves. And it's so hard to get it to show the pattern because I'm trying to get it to catch the light. But this is $10, letter V for the brass vase. What do we got left? We got 1, 2, 3 things left. Wow. Only an hour and a half. We've blown through a lot. But I didn't have the space to really pull a lot. And I've not been having the remember when I used to do sales and I'd have like 25 things? And I don't want to do that until I am all caught up with everything. And I have more space. I have my desk back or somewhere else, maybe an office. That would be so nice. Can't wait to have that office back. First goal is to clear out everything and find everything that everybody's been waiting for. Right away, in my lovely YouTube night owl people, has anybody seen Lois Egan in a chat lately? I'm getting worried because I haven't had any responses to emails in a while. So I'm getting worried about her. Because, you know, that happened with Terry, and we all know that unfortunately we had found out in October that Terry Candelora had passed away. No, we didn't find it out until November, but I get worried with certain people that, you know, I see so often and then I don't see it all anywhere in any other chat. And so I'm getting a little worried about our Lois. So, okay, let's do the last three. I have a vintage Bible stories and activities book. I like the camels on the front. I like the camel. This has never been used. There's not a mark in it. It's in great shape. It's copyrighted to 1969. And looking at the number line, when you get to the number line in a book, see how you have this tiny little number line here? Well, this number line, this ends in a 3. So that means this is the third printing. Now they didn't change the date, but you don't know how fast they went through. It's Doubleday and Company, Bible Stories and Activities. And it's got everything from modeling in clay to there's some, well, that's the answer key. That's cheating. So there's dot-to-dot puzzles. There's different things about foods in the Bible. There's what they call an acrostic. An acrostic is where you're already given the words and you have to make them fit in. There's another page that has a crossword puzzle. There's Bible stories in the front. Where is... This is for the animals that they show on the front, the camel and the lion. This is what they are. You color them in yourself, and it's to make, all the instructions are there for string and straws, and you make a mobile to hang in your room. So if you teach Sunday school or vacation Bible school, they even have how to make miniature figures out of the old style clothespins. This definitely would be a nice resource for you. And remember the old flannel boards, right? There's the figures and there's the story and how you can make these and use them for the old flannel board. God, I had a lot of vintage flannel board stuff, and somebody early on when I first started the channel bought it all. They just were so thrilled, even though it was stuff from like the 60s and the 50s, and they didn't care. Finding flannel board stuff is very difficult nowadays. And the artwork and the lithographs were just gorgeous. So she had been teaching Vacation Bible School for the last 20 years, and she was my age, and she just loved it. And she bought everything I could find of my mother's stuff. When I was thrilled, because then I know that's the kind of stuff that my family would have said, just throw it in the trash. But because some of it was from her mother, it was lithographed. So the colors were just so rich. So we have this one, Bible Stories and Activities book. And where are you on my list? So this is just $2. $2 letter L. $2 letter L for the Bible Stories and Activities book. Now, I have one more pack of 30 cards that are miscellaneous cards for ephemera. And Marcy would like the Bible book. Thank you, Marcy. I think this one might have one or two somewhat vintage in. It also has these tiny, tiny ones. A happy birthday, a for you. I like that flower. Bird one. But this is another batch where it's 30 note cards. Some of them, like this one, the inside of the card's gone. So you've just got this big image. Well, looks like I have them upside down. Like a lot of these are birthday. Oh, that one's a coupon from 2022. Graduation wish, the church one, kind of a artistic one. I like this one. I like the foil pattern. If I show you the back, it doesn't reflect as much because the back is just in gold print, but it's such a great image. You know, forget-me-nots. This one's got little sparkles all over it. I think that one's upside down. There we go. Little kids. But again, it's 30 cards. Quite a few florals in this lot. And they are all, I like the little turtle. They are all used. And I'm sorry, Marcy. And then there's this great big one, has a ribbon up the side. I had to sort through 2 giant Ziploc bags that were mostly Christmas cards to pull together these 2 batches of 30 each. I really do like that turtle one. I think he's cute. So this is $6, 30 miscellaneous cards to use as an ephemera lot. And it's $6 and it's letter B. Letter B for this pack. I gotta find a cheap place to get Ziploc bags because these are my freezer bags that I use, and I use them a lot, and I'm running out. Yep, Marcy. Thank you, Marcy. Okay, now the last thing. Okay, I don't know what to do about this one. It has some. Okay, I will make note of that about the Christmas cards because a lot of the Christmas cards are not vintage. They're modern. I usually save when I find vintage ones, I save them for when we get to do a Christmas sale. There will probably not be a Christmas in July sale for me this year because if I'm right about the dates for Boy Scout summer camp, I will be at camp for Christmas in July. So that probably won't happen this year. So this one, the frame, I love the frame. The frame is very much a 1930s, 1940s frame, and the image is very sweet. But you'll see what I mean, why I'm like, okay, vintage frame with lamb. We're going to put it that way. The frame itself, I know, is worth at least the $8 that we're starting this at. It is an older frame. It's solid wood. The frame has all this nice little edging here. None of this is plasterwork. It's all wood. There's a little white line painted in there. But you can already see this part has silverfish damage to the sides. But the image inside is this great lithograph of a little girl and her lamb. Now, from what I can tell, that lithograph is separate from whatever's behind it. So this is starting at 8, and I didn't have a chance to do this. I want to be super careful of these old tabs. Now, whoever like this is never a good thing to do, but they use nails to hold the string. That tells you how old it is, because you don't do that. You get little eye hooks that you can like not hooks, but you get little eye things that you can screw into the wood nowadays, which are much safer than just trying to put a cotton string. But I'm going to open this up extremely carefully, and we're going to find out just what is going on in here. So there's the back. Oh, I don't want to sit that there. That's on top of the other half of my biscuit. So at some point, oh my gosh, wait till you see it. So this lithograph is, look what it is. It's the cover image for an old telephone index notepad. So when they used up all the notepads, they framed this fantastic image, which, I mean, you could frame this and have this out for Easter. It's so adorable. But is there a date on this thing? Telephone index, name, address, and number. So that's what's behind that. But the part that has the damage is, my dearest mother, your laughter in my heart will dwell wherever I may be. The quiet beauty of your face will ever stay with me and make me thank God every day for your sweet memory. Now look at this image. Oh my goodness. That's just beautiful. What do you think with that clothing? That's definitely before the 20s. You think earlier 1900s, Edwardian kind of thing? Maybe later in the 30s, I don't think. That's what was hiding behind. Oh, come on, frame. Don't slide off the table on me. That's what was hiding behind it and had the silverfish damage. But if you look, other than this spot right here and this one here, you could actually frame this and bypass almost all of the damage that's on the border of this. Wow. So that's what's in the frame. So you get the frame and both lithographed images. You get this one and this one, as well as that super cool frame. And I don't see any takers. I really like the frame. So I would be willing, if somebody only wanted the ephemera, I would be willing to do the ephemera for, God, that is so old. I'd be willing to do just the 2 ephemera pieces for $6 if somebody wanted just the ephemera and not the frame. And then I'll keep the frame. I really like the frame. We could do that. If you were interested in that and having both the lithographs for $6, because if not, I'm going to trim this sucker and put this in my eBay store or my Etsy. Both lithographs then would be $6. Letter Z. Letter Z. Z. If somebody wanted just the lithographs. Wow, that's friggin' cool. This reminds me of those old motto prints, and I have quite a few of those. Litho in the USA, but no date. That is so. Okay, so no interest in those, so we're gonna pass on that. Those are cool. I'm going to carefully sit the frame and the lithographs up here on my clipboard because I have to have space to put them back together. So that was everything for tonight. So what do we have for the wrap up? We have that. We have that over that. We have the Avon Country Jug lotion. Still in the original box, still never used in the original jug. And I did check, the lotion does smell good. It hasn't separated. It's still usable. Quite nice. And this was, now I would just looked at it on my list. Where did it go? This was $8 for that. And, you know, even with pirate ship, this thing's got some weight. So how about we make this $7, letter G, and help compensate for the shipping on that one. What else do we have? We have the tiki mask. The tiki mask was $10. And if you were interested in that, just put tiki, because that had been an offer up. That didn't have a letter. We have the original plastic interlined table cover, which made me look like an idiot because I kept looking at it going, why does it look like paper? Well, because it's actually, both sides are paper with the plastic in the middle. But this is new old stock and in its original packaging, never been opened. This was $5, letter T. And then we have the giant honeycomb ball. And we did find there is a made in mark. Actually, let me dust out of that. Let me see if I can tell, because I don't think I can though. Yeah, that's made. Nope, I can't tell. Made is the only word you can barely make out. But this is a biggin, and this is the string that it hangs with. It is a vintage honeycomb ball decoration. And it is 19 inches long. And this is it. This is the ball. And there was one, gotta find it again. There is one spot right here where there's a tear. And then of course where they meet, there's a little spot right there that's torn. But this thing is huge, and it is a vintage honeycomb decoration. Great to have out for a party or for New Year's. But it is a big one. I've never come across one that big, and is most likely from the 60s. And it was $7, letter C. Hello, Becky. I am having fun. I'm back. My back doesn't hurt tonight. so far, knock on wood, my voice has held out. I've had 2 good nights sleep for the first time, 2 nights in a row for the first time in ages. That's definitely since starting this blood pressure medication. Absolutely. Um, so yeah, things are going good. Knock on wood. Uh, things are going well. I just have to baby my knee because I've been up and down the stairs a little too much, too many times in one day, and the knee goes out. So, yep, I am so happy, knock on wood, to be not feeling quite so bad. And then, of course, finally, we've had decent weather. It's not rainy, it's not cold, because the heater's turned off now. We don't have any oil left, and I don't. It's down to the E. I know there's a little bit past that, but I don't want to risk it um, draining completely because then you got to pay to have them prime it. So the heater is now turned off. So whatever temperatures we get is what we get. So there's no more having to worry about, do I need to get heating oil? Because we're just not, and it's going to be off, and we'll get heating oil in the summer when it should be a cheaper price. And so, yeah, everything's looking good. And my son starts his new job on Monday. So, but yeah, so I've had a blast. I'm so glad to see all of you tonight. We have 32 people tonight. And what, 24 thumbs up? Let me double check that. And let me double check. Do I have? Oh, okay. She paid for her invoice, so that's something else that's got to go out in the mail tomorrow. We got 25 thumbs up. I thank you for those. And I thank, I don't know if Nora's still around. Morgan E. Wolf is one of my YouTube members. She's part of the fairy realm because I do have channel memberships. And channel memberships, you get notice of, you get videos that are made just for the channel members. You get 24 hours notice of drop sales. You get them first before then they go live. There she is. And you get all these fun little emojis. And so you get to have all this cool stuff. I'm still working on the needlework magazines. I want to film them all before I send them all. I have someone who contacted me who is interested in them, in all of them. So I have 7 more I need to film so that I can get them to her. Because apparently that's she'll make all that stuff that's in there, all that knitting stuff. She knows how to do that, and she specializes in making vintage knitted clothing. Because there's a lot of people that like the aesthetic, and I've seen quite a few, like Rachel Makesy is one. There's a lot of YouTubers that just like wearing vintage clothing from different periods, and it's very hard. It's also very, very hard if you're plus size, because there's some styles of clothing I would kill to find, especially jackets. I would kill to find in my size. They just don't make them. But she knows enough to be able to make larger sizes for some things to expand the pattern up. I couldn't even tell you how to. I can't even knit a sock. I wouldn't know where to go. I don't know how to read those patterns. So she is very interested in getting all of them, which is fantastic. I was worried that because the issue is it on some of them, I was worried that even at $6 that they wouldn't move, and I just couldn't bear with all those instructions in them. I just couldn't bear the thought of throwing all those out. So I at least wanted to get them on video. So the videos will continue, but it looks like they will all be sold now, which is awesome and helpful. And I'm so thrilled. I think that's great. I think that's great. There will, I'm sure, be other things for crocheting and I know there'll be supplies because I can't have the fabric sale till I get through all those boxes that are in that dining room so that I can get to the table to have enough space to measure the fabric. So, because some of the fabric we're finding is stuff that there's yardage of. It's not necessarily smaller cuts for quilting. It's actual like knits and denim and flannel, and that's yardage. So, but I need a table big enough to measure stuff on. So I need to get through all that. So in 2 weeks, when the next sale is, we'll see what I find. And for those of you who, because I see a lot of people here tonight that I didn't see at my last sale, if you are interested in cross stitch kits, go watch the sale from 2 weeks ago, the March 30th sale. There's quite a bit that didn't sell that night. There's a lot of cross stitch kits that didn't sell. I brought 18 cross stitch kits, and I'm pretty sure there are 14 of them that did not sell that night. So they are still available. So you can just email me if you're interested in them. Because they were $10. They were starting at $10 each. So yeah, by all means, go take a look. Because I don't remember if I did a recap that night. I was losing my voice pretty badly by the end of it. So because we did go close to 3 hours, and I think I might have not done a recap. I'm not sure. There might be a recap of all the cross stitch kits at the very least at the end of the video, but I'm just not sure. Oh, Becky, honey. My grandmother sewed. My mother was a professional seamstress. The house is full of fabric, and my sister was here on Tuesday, and we were talking about it, and it's not like I didn't get rid of fabric. I gave fabric away. I gave unfinished bridesmaids dresses, bolts of satin to the local high school right after mom died. I filled my car and took at least 6 unfinished bridesmaids dresses from different weddings down to the high school and donated that there. I filled my car twice, and I had a 2001 Chevy Malibu, massive trunk, large back seat. Filled it to the roof of the car twice and took it to Fair Acres, which is the local low-income nursing home in the area. And they said, thank you, but can you stop? Because I filled every storage space they had, because my aunt, my dad's sister, had worked in the mills, the clothing mills in upstate PA. And when they were done with something, they would just throw everything away. So she gave mom these massive bolts of trims and elastic and just all kinds of stuff, and a whole box of tank tops that were cut out but not sewn. And I gave all that and so much more to Fair Acres, that I filled up all their storage for everything that they had for the crafting stuff, because they have a huge craft show every year in the spring. And yeah, and there's still tons of craft and fabric stuff. And I used to do a lot of crafts. I used to do absolutely a lot of crafts, and I have to admit, I had a lot of plans, but then I got Mike, so a lot of stuff sat. Like a lot of those cross stitch kits, I don't remember buying some of those, so I think some of them mom might have bought, which I don't know why, because she didn't cross stitch. That was my thing. But I look at some of them now and I go, I know I'm not going to have the time to do this. So yeah, I gave up a lot. The only one I kind of regret was the swan needlepoint kit, because the more I think about it, the more I think, well, 15 inches, that could still make a reasonable pillow. And I'm like, no, stop. You already sold it. No. That was the only one that kind of got to me, because it was such a cool image. But better that it's going to go somewhere and be used, and But yeah, I had brought a lot because I opened up one box and here underneath all the fabric was just nothing but the rest of the box was just all cross stitch kits. So yeah, go take a look, have a blast. Hello, Maria. Um, your book should be arriving soon because I still have the giant buttons. They just were not going to fit in something that was media mail, and for me to be, they're not flat, so I wasn't able to get away with that. So, honey, I don't think there's a room that doesn't have fabric in it. I know there's sewing stuff stuffed in the attic. There's stuff still in the Black Hole Challenge room. There's all that stuff in the dining room. There's the 112 boxes is almost all craft and fabric and yeah, except for a few boxes of toys, new old stock toys, which I have to get moving and get them. When I can get to my light box that you little farts, the kittens knocked it way over there and I can't even get to it because there's a pile of stuff on this side of me and boxes and though it's mostly just a pile. So, oh my lord. I don't even have a guest room. There's no room that's empty. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Mike's been working on the yard and I've been working on stuff in the house and we're getting there. Little bit at a time. It did feel like a big step backwards having 112 boxes come in. Oh, this was the other thing that didn't sell was the brass vase, which was $10, letter V. It's got that on it. It's got it sitting right in front of me, and I completely forgot to put it in the recap. But thank you all for coming, and so there will be a sale in 2 weeks. I alternate because I got backlogged, especially when I got hurt back in 2021, and then I kept having relapses. So I have some people that I have owed things to for a long while, and I don't want to have that happen again. So I have tried to make sure that stuff from whatever is the current sale, I push real hard to get that out right away and then keep working on what is the backlog. So good night, Ruby. So it's not, none of you have been forgotten. And I do always consolidate as much as I can in boxes. So if you've bought from multiple sales, I do find ways to consolidate it all and save you on shipping. So thank you all for coming. And keep in mind, if you're new, that I do have memberships. I have Buy Me a Tea, and I have stickers and super chats, all of which go to help take care of the kittens. And until we get the next 2 adopted, and to take care of the 2 outdoor cats. Because the next task is for me first thing tomorrow morning. I gotta try calling 2 different charities to see if they'll come get the cat that I call One-Eyed Jack, because he's been showing up and he's been in some kind of fight and is missing an eye, and he needs medical care as soon as somebody can come get him, because I can't afford to do that. But you guys, Lindo, love seeing the kittens. You saw what Elron's like. He doesn't care if I'm on camera or not. If he wants to curl up in my arms, that's where he wants to be. So in 2 weeks, it'll probably be, because those boxes all are craft and sewing, it will probably be another craft supply sale. And I keep having it on my list to have a book sale at some point. And there is somebody who wanted to join me for that book sale for the guest. But we have to find a time because I don't think it works for her to be here at 11 at night. So I will work on getting that straightened out. So enjoy the videos of the vintage magazines that come out on Wednesday nights. I'm live almost every Thursday night starting at 11. Next week will be a chat or a work with me. And then the following will be a sale, and we never know if I'm going to get something else taped and out for on the weekend. I try some, but now that I've on the new medication and feeling better, long as the back holds out. That may happen more often. I hope so. I'd like it to happen some more often. So, see you all. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. I may or may not be seeing the latest John Wick movie this weekend. We'll see. Mike's got a lot going on, and I don't think he wants to shoehorn it in there, but it's a 3-hour movie from what he said. So I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. It's a John Wick movie. Lots of stuff will explode, so I'll be happy. And besides, it's Keanu Reeves. So I'll watch that man do anything. Read the phone book. He's fun to watch. So have a good night. Have a great weekend. And the kittens and I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying nice weather. Because we've had a rough early spring, haven't we, across the country? So hopefully all across the country right now, I think, is relatively calm. So everybody be safe, stay warm, stay dry, and see you guys all next week. Bye.